Are you looking for a non-fiction book that uplifts your spirit? I have 4 great ones right here that I read several times, and I bet one of these will resonate with you. Hi and welcome to the Booklab. This is the place where we bring you the best book recommendations when it comes to philosophy, psychology, human nature and human potential every week, so make sure to subscribe. Now let's talk about some books that uplift your spirit. A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. When you find yourself in a rut, you're probably not in the best place in terms of emotions and thoughts, but luckily you are not your thoughts. And with this book you will learn to build a new relationship to how you think, and it covers the 3 aspects of true freedom: non-attachment, non-resistance and non-judgment. I read in my notes about this book, I actually wrote it between a few paragraphs here, that I was torn about this book when I first read it. It's funny to look back at it now 7 years later, because this is probably the book that I've read the most times. And I don't care if it's unscientific, if it's like woo-woo and out there. This book has a new age vibe to it, but despite of my initial skepticism towards this book, it actually created an opening for me spiritually, and it's a book that really made a difference, a meaningful difference in my life, and actually bumped up my baseline happiness. So I really recommend A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. A Guide to the Good Life by William B. Irvine. Few books have had the same impact on my life as this one. I can see a clear divide between who I was before I read this book and afterwards. What William Irvine does so successfully in this book is that it takes ancient Stoic philosophy and turns it into practical advice for how you can live a good life in a modern context. It's very practical and it's very accessible. If you don't have a philosophy of life already, or are in the process of developing one, then you should definitely check this book out. I've read it for 5 times, I think, and it still holds up, even though some parts might feel a bit repetitive. Like, it's well worth your time. A Guide to the Good Life by William B. Irvine. On the Shortness of Life by Seneca. Is life too short, or are we just doing it wrong? This is a book from Seneca, the ancient Stoic philosopher, that talks about the duration of life and why many people think that life is too short when it's actually long enough if you know how to use it. Quote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Life is long enough, and it has been given in sufficient measure to allow us to achieve the greatest things, if the whole of it is well invested. We are not given a short life, but we make it short. And we are not ill-supplied, but wasteful of it." Some people might find talking about death and dying to be super depressive, so why do I have this on a list of uplifting books? Well, there are 2 main reasons for it. The first reason being that life is short. You will be dead and forgotten in the blink of an eye from a cosmic perspective. This means that you can pursue your goals, even if you might fail, or people disapprove of you, or if you become the laughingstock of the town. You might as well try, because in the grand scheme of things you're but a speck of dust. And I think that's quite freeing. And secondly, the book also shows us that even in ancient Rome, where this book was written, people wasted their time and complained about the same things that we do now, 2000 years later. Seeing that certain behaviors have not been fruitful in the past, and they still doesn't really help us living the good life even in modern society, makes it easier for us to cut them out of our lives. And it's comforting to know that gossiping, ass-kissing and overindulgence is still a life strategy that kind of sucks. Parallel Universes of Self by Frederick Dodson. According to parallel worlds theory, everything that can happen does. Universes branches into infinite versions with every possible event. Frederick Dodson claims that the parallel universe principle can be applied to your reality and be used to alter your everyday life. Sounds out there? It's totally bonkers from one perspective, but it's also super awesome and useful from another perspective. If you want to go outside your comfort zone and try to read something that is truly out there, then try out this book. I had a lot of results from applying the ideas from this book, and if you allow yourself to try something new and be a bit open-minded, then this might be the best tool for achieving your goals and desires that you ever come across. Those were the 4 books that I wanted to recommend. I have links in the description below to the full review of each of these books, and all of these are also on my great books list. This is a book list where I've listed all the best books out of thousands of books. I've listed the ones that really stood out. I have a link for that in the description below as well. And while you're down there, press the subscribe button and like. It really helps me reach more people with great books. I will be back next week with more book reviews. I will review How to Win Friends and Influence People. Until then, Björn out. Cheers.